I'd like to introduce you to the edel+white sonic toothbrush. I've been working with sonic technology for many years now, and one of the main problems that I have with my patients is, first of all, the compliance of using the brush properly, of not understanding, is this brush appropriate for them and their conditions, and how to actually use it in their mouth. Many of the patients are taught how to use toothbrushes on models, but they have a very difficult time actually implying that at home. So just a few things for you to understand about the brush. The edel+white works with the same amplitude of 4 to 6 millimeters, but it has a frequency up to 43,000. So it actually has a larger range, which we're finding in some of the studies is actually more effective in creating that fluid dynamic motion. Also, what's very unique about this brush, it has ultra soft filaments in the brush head. That means the last 3 to 4 millimeters are ultra soft, and they're also very tapered. So through the recent research, we have learned that they actually get in between the teeth better, creating that fluid dynamic motion and actually reaching underneath the gums a little bit better and the gingiva for a better clean for those patients with really strong gingivitis. The difference between a manual toothbrush, an electromagnetic toothbrush, and a sonic toothbrush is actually worlds of difference. A mechanic brush and an oscillating round brush need to have direct contact with the plaque in the biofilm to remove it, whereas the sonic technology, through the amplitude and frequency, creates this fluid dynamic motion, which creates bubbles, which smash into these biofilms and break them apart, thus achieving a better clean. We still recommend to use interproximal aids like brushes and floss, as the plaque is reduced more than using a manual oscillating brush. It's still not removed 100%. So it is a combination of using these extra aids with it. The toothpaste we do recommend for using for the type of technology, the hydrodynamic technology, is a low abrasive, almost a foaming type of toothpaste, as this will flow better through the teeth and is more effective with this fluid dynamic movement. You will actually find, and I found this with I've taken about 10 test patients and found that these patients took about 2 weeks to get used to the brush. They did find they had a little bit more bleeding gums, and sometimes the gums were a little bit more sensitive. This is due to the fact that these bristles are actually achieving what they're supposed to achieve, and they're reaching down into these difficult areas. So tell your patients it's going to take them about 2 weeks of the tickling feeling, maybe a little bit of bleeding gums, or some sensitivity to the teeth and gums to get used to it. And at about that 2-week mark, it switches right over and they actually get used to it. Most of them have been telling me they feel that it's just an amazing clean, a deeper clean. And actually, here's some pictures of some before and afters where we have just using the brush 1 month with not using interproximal brushes, only using the brush. We have seen great achievement in a reduction of the biofilm in the plaque. The only contraindication that we have seen, as with other electric toothbrushes, is a patient with a pacemaker, as you don't want to get it close to the heart. Other than that, we do recommend this brush for just about everybody, as there are 3 different brush heads available for the patients. The ultra soft one for any of your perio patients and people with veneers or high quality dental materials. We have the white one for people using whitening toothpaste. It's a little bit of a firmer brush, so those of your patients who don't have any difficult problems or bleeding gums or anything, you can actually use this as a stronger toothbrush head. And then we also have the single individual one, and this is fantastic for interproximal areas or just those patients of yours that are not complying with the interproximal bristles. This is a great alternative for that. I like the sensitive mode for most of my patients getting started, and I found most of them on this 1-month trial have only used it in the sensitive mode, just getting used to it. Once they get used to the feeling and the vibration and the sound, then they can move it into more active, stronger frequency and amplitude mode that gives you even more of a fluid dynamic motion. The white mode is also the strong mode we recommend using with the other brush head for the whitening, and there's a yoga mode. Now, many people think this is kind of a gimmick, a yoga mode and stuff. It's actually a mode that's very interesting, and you can actually recommend it for patients who really need to focus on slowing down and learning the technology. As many of our patients tend to brush very, very quickly, this will slow them down as the breaks between the different quadrants, these 30-second breaks, tend to be a little bit longer. So they can kind of get used to focusing it into these difficult areas or spending a little bit more time with brushing and understanding how they're supposed to get and brush around their gums in a gentle way. Also remember, tell the patients not to push on it. What will happen is if you put too much pressure on this technology, the bristles won't flow. You need to have a light touch to the tooth so the bristles can flow and create that fluid dynamic motion. So, thank you for watching, and I hope this little video has helped you understand how this very unique technology can help you and your patients. I have to admit, once I started my patients on this brush, it has changed the way that they respond. They are so motivated, and I am finally getting some results. It's not just about prophylaxis and root planing and trying to get some regeneration of that area. 90% of what we do, of our results, are what the patient does at home. And once you get the patient motivated with better home care, then you can achieve the results that you want to. If you have any further questions or comments, please contact your local rep with the information listed below. Thank you, and I wish you best of success.